With the introduction of the new promo dropping, we're likely going to end up seeing those useless UCL base cards come out.
No! No! No, no, no!
Which probably have the same rating as the golds, and they're kind of just extra fodder supply on the market. However, in previous FIFA, since the introduction of them, we have seen that they do kind of have an impact on the market when they do come into the game. And last year, specifically, we did see a lot of gold cards actually end up dropping due to some panic and stuff like that. So we're going to go over what they are, how they work, and what they could potentially do to the market. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up on it. Let's aim for 35 likes on this video. And of course, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. So we're going to be spending pretty much the whole episode here on FUTBIN, and we're going to actually go and take a look at the FIFA 21 cards. Now, what these UCL base cards are is they're literally just fodder.
It's good fodder.
They are the same thing as the gold card except blue. They're pretty much useless, and they were only really needed for UCL marquee matchups or anything like that. The meta ones really didn't do anything either. So this is what the card was. It was just a blue UCL card, same stats as the 90. Now last year they dropped in the middle of the week, which I am expecting these ones to drop next Tuesday as well with the, UCL, match day 3 in the group. So we're going to be seeing that. And basically what these cards did is they came in on Tuesday, October 20th. They all kind of come in inflated, and they basically just match the gold price. So we're going to take a look at Virgil van Dijk's gold and see how this kind of affected his card coming in, because I do have a little fear that we are going to actually see the same kind of thing come in, where when these cards drop, you're going to see the market actually take a little bit of a hit. So moving into October, which it was October 20th, I think it was, 21st we just looked at. So you can see when these cards did drop, we actually did see these cards come down a little bit. We saw Verge drop a decent amount on both consoles, and I'm concerned that this is also going to happen next FIFA. So we can take a look at a few other cards. We'll take a look at Cristiano Ronaldo, we'll take a look at Neymar or Mbappe, and then some fodder cards, of course. So when these cards were first introduced, however, they actually had a +1 in every stat. So they were actually somewhat useful. However, EA decided to revert it back. So Ronaldo, for example, his blue card opened up at a price of about 1.7 mil, 1.6-ish. And then his gold card on October, we saw, actually ended up coming down as well. Which again is a trend I think we're going to end up seeing in this next week coming up when these cards do come in. So as you guys can see right about here was Tuesday, and you guys can see a significant little dip into Wednesday. And yes, it's 25, 30, 40k, but that's a significant amount on some of these cards. It's a decent little chunk of percentage. And I do think we might actually end up seeing a little bit more this year because we have such a dead market this year. There's no really demand, and a lot of extra supply with these UCL cards coming in could really hurt the market. Now, real quick, I want to take a look at some another lower rated kind of card so we can kind of see how he reacted last year. So Joe Gomez, for example, he was obviously pretty good early on in the game. So looking at his gold card, we'll see at around this time when Joe Gomez's big card came out, and there might be a little exception here because it's Joe Gomez. But yeah, even when Joe Gomez, he was obviously a lot higher demand last year than he is this year. We can see due to the low meta, he dropped about 10k from the week before, or for a few days before. So that is still a significant drop for a lot of people to have in their teams. If these cards all come down, that technically is a huge market kind of correction or dip. And again, I kind of see that happening if we get these cards next week too. Like I said, this market right now, if we go to the Index 100 for FIFA 22, it's not the greatest, especially at the, as of me recording this video, the promo had been announced a few hours ago. I mean, we saw that these cards, we didn't take it too well with those Road to the Knockout cards, and these ones aren't even supplied yet. So imagine what's going to happen when we get a brand new card out of nowhere with a lot of supply coming in. That could take the market down a decent amount, especially this Index 100. Because a lot of these lower tier cards see a lot more supply, like, your lower rated. So yeah, Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe, they might go down 10, 15k, and whatever, because that is such a low amount for that high amount of card. But, last year Joe Gomez dropped down 10k. I mean, imagine taking a look at someone like Ousmane Dembele, for example, this year. who's sitting at like 50k on Xbox, and I mean on PlayStation he's like 70k. A card like that dropping 5-10k, that's a good percentage of you know, that card. Like, you know, that's a big percent. That's over 10% if he was to drop down 10k. So that is something to kind of watch out for. As far, you know, it is Thursday, so you have time, but you know, once you're finished with Weekend League, I wouldn't be opposed to maybe selling off, especially if we see the market kind of go up on Sunday like we did last week, or even Monday if people really aren't expecting them. But I would just be careful with a card like this, because we will end up seeing a little bit of a dip come next week if we do get those UCL cards. And again, I don't think we're going to get the Europa League cards. We didn't really get that last year. And of course we have that UEFA Conference League too, so we won't see any of those like kind of base cards. Really, those will just stick to the road to the knockout cards. So anyone that you own, like Sun for example, you won't see them really get affected. Maybe you see a little bit of panic on them, but I wouldn't really worry too much. And again, like I said, those high tier cards, they won't move. As far as icons go last year, I will take a quick look. I don't really think any cards that weren't in the you know, Europa League or anything, or anything, I don't think any cards that really didn't get a UCL base with them really got affected too much. We'll take a look at Ben Yedder last year. He was very popular around that time, and we'll see what happened to his price around that October period. Now he obviously had a pretty massive drop anyways, just because, you know, he started to get phased out. But around that time, I mean, yeah, even Ben Yedder got affected a little bit. He dropped down a couple K, which isn't too bad, but he did end up rebounding too nicely for that weekend. But, you know, even him, he got affected a little bit. And as far as like an icon goes, I don't think icons will really get affected, because again, they won't really matter. And this year, the icon market is extremely strong. It's the strongest market we have this year. And that's just due to the fact that, you know, it's a market in its own, basically, with its own supply. So I doubt the UCL cards would really affect it too much. So for example, this is base R9's graph, and as you can see at that October period, he actually ended up going up. So icons, they won't get affected at all. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. We'll probably have a second video out later this evening, kind of talking about some more kind of market and investments heading into the promo day tomorrow. Again, thanks for watching. Till next time, peace.